the Milwaukee Bucks obviously signed Miles Turner. It was thought that he was going to stay with the Indiana Pacers, so he signs that deal. Then they waive Damian Lillard, and then Giannis says, or reportedly, doesn't really like waiving Dame all that much. First initial thoughts about the shuffling for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I don't see how the move to waive Damian Lillard makes any sense without consulting Giannis first, at least in my opinion. He is your star player. He's the guy that you're trying to keep happy in this situation, and making a move like getting Miles Turner would you'd expect them to think that you consult Giannis first and make sure that he's okay with the ramifications that it does mean bringing Miles Turner. I understand that he is a great big man defensively, and he's one of the better big men shooting in the league. If definitely one of the best 3-point shooting big men. So you get a huge pickup in him, but does that push you over the top? Does that get you close to the top? Is probably what Giannis is thinking about. And from all the moves that they're making, it just doesn't feel like they're doing quite enough. And it feels like they're doing all they can, but it just still isn't enough. And waiving a player like that Giannis did like in Damian Lillard and losing that in just doesn't do them any favors. And it feels like they're getting closer to trading Giannis, which makes the move make even less sense at this point, because now you're paying Miles Turner big money for the next 4 years, and you also have an unhappy Giannis. So it feels like the reasoning behind this move is you get a tandem between them to try to see how far you can make it in the East. But now Giannis is more unhappy than ever.
Yeah, the direction confuses me a little bit, but we have a lot of teams, including the Bucks, who are about halfway into exactly where they want to be. So there certainly could be some stuff lining up. Hopefully, for the Bucks' sake right now, with the way that it's looking, that the next step is not to trade Giannis. But yeah, no consultation, I'd imagine, if he's actually reportedly unhappy with this move is a little bit jarring for what they want to do. And Miles Turner, that's a lot of money. I mean, he did not play well in the finals. He had a couple good series in the playoffs. He was a part of that team, emphasis on that Pacers team. He wasn't exactly the driving force for them. So that's a lot of money. That doesn't really change the trajectory of the franchise, even with Damian Lillard. So I question that a lot. And then, waiving Dame, I mean, coming off the Achilles injury, obviously he's not going to be there next year. What does the salary cap mean for you? I'm sure there were some benefits to doing that, but it's if Giannis really wants to, go after this, retool, and, be serious with Damian Lillard after this next upcoming season, maybe that's the way to go. I really question it, because it looks like they're going to have to end up trading Giannis, if he is truly unhappy, unless they make one more really big splash move. They're going to have to start being aggressive. Also, we didn't even really talk about it too much, but Brook Lopez, not on the Bucks anymore, kind of an end of an era, with them. I always associate Brook Lopez on the Nets, but he spent a lot of time with the Bucks. Mm-hmm. And I mean, fan favorite guy who's been there a long time. I thought he was going to end his career with the Bucks, but anyways, it just feels like this team is going into a different kind of era for them. And then if Giannis is reportedly unhappy with one of the moves, that's a dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, no, I think your thoughts are kind of mirror mine in that sense. I think that you just, it's tough making this move in general, and then losing a guy like Brook Lopez, kind of replacing him immediately. But then you just took so much to do that, and then also feels like maybe Damon and Giannis get a reunion in Miami. It feels like that we're leading up to that, because I don't know that this is this is obviously fantasy world, but the Miami Heat have a lot to offer the Milwaukee Bucks at this point in their tenure with Giannis, because of the fact that he is reportedly unhappy. He's been talking about trade destinations, it feels like, all offseason. Now you put him in a spot where he's reportedly even more unhappy, and these reports are happening just hours after these moves happen. So it just doesn't look like it's a good spot. And then from the Miami Heat's perspective, any Heat fan will tell you we've wanted Giannis for an extended period of time. And with Khalil Ware taking another step forward, with Tyler Hero being an all-star this season, possibly, I don't know that you throw Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo in the same trade package, but if you're able to ship one of them off, a couple first-rounders, that looks like a better deal than what you might get from a lot of other teams at this point. And I think that the Heat have a lot to offer, but I think that the fact that we're talking about a new signing and then immediately following that talking about Giannis trade talks is not where the Bucks wanted to be at the end of this.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different teams that are now looking over and being and side eyeing what the Bucks are doing right now and saying, "Hey, look, if we can just keep a certain amount of cap situation free to be able to make a move on the fly, like we're going to do it." Would you, if you're the Celtics? Like, I mean, shoot, right? You would package something like a pick with Jaylen Brown and try to go trade it over for Giannis. Like, I think there's a ton of teams that would just say, "Yeah, we would blow it up." We would make a super aggressive move and try to kind of bring a face of a franchise in here and replace what we've got. Like I don't know how many teams are going to want to be like not in the running for a guy like Giannis because this is looking like it's heating up. Like as long as you don't put yourself in a spot where you make a signing or you make some sort of sign and trade or you do something to your cap situation where you can't get Giannis. I think a lot of different teams are going to be in play. I don't think the Bucks want to trade him to an Eastern Conference team. I think that would be like, worst case scenario, but I think they're going to try to get the best deal for him. And, maybe you just try to use some of your cap room and that's why you end up signing Miles Turner. He's a good big man, obviously, of course. And then you just roll with your rebuild or however you want to go about it. But I would say there aren't a lot of teams that are going to look at what the Bucks are doing right now and say, we're just going to stay on our own path. I think there's going to be a lot of teams side-eyeing.
Yeah, no, and from the Bucks' perspective, this situation it feels like it just gets continually worse because the fact that the moves that they did make in the offseason where they re-signed Gary Trent Jr. and Torian Prince and Bobby Portis and Kevin Porter Jr. And now you're in a situation where all those people are aging guys at this point. You're not really getting any picks in. And like obviously you can trade those guys eventually, but you're re-signing them, upping their money and their contracts, and now like you could be looking to retool in the offseason. It's clearly not what they're trying to do, but they might not have a choice like in the coming months or not the coming year. So, I mean, we'll see what it ends up looking like, but it doesn't look like a very positive situation for the Milwaukee Bucks in any sense. And it's a little bit sad to see because the Milwaukee Bucks are one of the kind of like small market teams that have just been able to compete consistently since Giannis got there. Even from his first couple of years, he's just been dominating the league with the Bucks. A like lottery pick that turned out very well for them, like one of possibly the greatest player in their franchise's history. And for it to go down like this, it just doesn't feel like exactly right, especially given the fact that they were able to extend him a couple of years back and like he felt like he was happy there. And now it just feels like they're in this weird like middle ground that like it doesn't feel like they're the most competitive team in the world. And Giannis obviously wants to compete.